Joel Tadman here on the range at Tranquillo Golf Resort in Orlando, Florida, and today I'm going to be testing the TaylorMade M2 fairway wood. Now this replaces the Aeroburner model, which was the slightly lower price point model compared to the TaylorMade premium offerings, designed to offer distance and forgiveness. In fact, the Aeroburner was actually all about speed. It had a lot of technology geared on the head around aerodynamics and improving clubhead speed to get you more distance. Whereas the M2 range, not only is it about distance, of course, but it's also about forgiveness. There's numerous technologies we see on this fairway wood to give you more forgiveness. And we've obviously got the carbon composite crown, which we've seen in other TaylorMade M2 and M1 woods, which saves weight, allow TaylorMade to put it lower, make the head more forgiving, increase launch angle. Another way they're going to be able to do that is through the speed pocket, which has been made even bigger. It's more of an open speed pocket now, so that's going to increase the ball speed that you get on shots struck low on the face, which is obviously very important with a fairway wood. When you're hitting it off the deck into greens, you want a club that's going to be able to launch high from impact locations low on the face. The new innovation we see with this new M2 fairway wood is this fluted hosel, which TaylorMade says not only is going to improve the sound and the feel, but it's also going to save weight in this area and then move it towards the perimeter of the club head to make it more forgiving. So it's an interesting design. Looking down at address, you do notice it slightly actually after a few hits, especially when the sun's shining on it. You get a few shadows on these grooved areas. At address, it looks very similar to the M1 fairway wood. Obviously the M1 fairway wood is slightly more expensive. This one comes in at £199, the M1 was £249. Obviously that had the sliding weight in the bottom of the club. This just has the speed pocket, so no adjustability on this fairway wood. It's a fixed hosel design, designed like the Aeroburner for performance off the shelf. So hopefully you can go into your pro shop, pick one off the shelf. As long as the shaft flex is right for you, you should get some pretty good performance out of it. Some observations about this fairway wood. Like I said, it's very similar to the M1, so you're not overly confidence inspiring behind the ball. It's actually quite small, certainly appears quite small at address, but with that black face and the white crown, very easy to align. Golfers will enjoy that. It's an interesting face design actually. You can see here how the toe section is slightly larger and appears to sit lower to the ground than towards the heel. So I think that's actually going to help a lot of golfers, the majority of golfers who have their hands quite low at address. That still should sit quite flush to the turf when you address the ball. So that's a really interesting design feature that you kind of notice looking at the face. Launch monitor data was very impressive. I was using my GC2 launch monitor today, testing it both off the tee and off the fairway. Obviously off the tee seemed to go a little bit further, averaging carry around 240 yards, but the forgiveness was very impressive actually. Very impressed with how stable it felt through the ball. It's a very interesting feel actually. It's a very solid feel. There's not really much softness to it, but it's still very powerful, very explosive. The flight was very high, especially on well struck shots. Even low struck shots on the face seemed to go pretty high as well. Relatively low spin for a fairway wood. I've actually found that from the M1 fairway wood. Relatively low spin, perhaps down to this speed pocket here in the front of the head. But interestingly enough, with this M2 fairway wood, was that shots off the deck also flew very, very well. We've seen that with previous TaylorMade fairway woods down the years, starting with rocket balls with their speed pocket technology, how performance low on the face, very important for shots off the deck, performed very well. And that was certainly a feature that I found with this M2 fairway wood. Launched very high, going to give you really good stopping power into par fives, but then that low spin combination should help you off the tee as well. So it's a very versatile fairway wood. Recommend if you're in the market for a new fairway wood, you really do give it a try, because I think it's going to give you the performance and the versatility that you're looking for.